top 5 AFC teams going into 2023-2024.
Yeah, let's start at 5 at the bottom. I can do every other or just go through my list.
Let's start. We'll do our 5. So you do
Okay.
5, I go 5, and we'll trade off
Okay.
there.
So at number 5, record doesn't always mean skill-wise what they're the best as. I have the Miami Dolphins there. I think with their weapons, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and the addition of Jalen Ramsey, that adds a whole new element, pairing him with Xavier Howard. So I think their defense will be elite. So I do have them as the 5th best team in the AFC. And then at number 4,
I also have the Dolphins at 5 as well.
you have the Dolphins at 5? Okay.
Yeah, yep. So I think our list will look pretty similar. Dolphins, a lot of talent. Seems like they're a little top heavy. Their running game, I'm a little concerned about. Let's see whether they go out and get Dalvin Cook. But with the amount of talent on defense, with their offense, got to give it to the Dolphins. I also like Mike McDaniels a lot as a coach. So give me the Dolphins at 5.
Yeah, and then at number 4, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, I think they'll finish as a wild card team and inevitably fall to the Bengals. I think if you lined up 5 teams in the AFC, they would be one of the 5 best teams with TJ Watt. We saw their record with and without him. I think there's an argument that he could be a defensive player to eventually win MVP. There's been games where he would get a sack, a strip sack, or a fumble to help them inevitably win that game. And I think year 2, Kenny Pickett, he's going to take a leap along with George Pickens and that wide receiver core and a healthy Najee Harris, because he had a plate put in his foot at the beginning of last year, pairing him with Fred Warren. I think that's just going to be an elite team, and their weakness was offensive line. They were able to fix that in the offseason. So I still think number 4, Tomlin never had a losing season.
Number 4, I have the Bills.
Okay.
I think for a team that had a lot of moving pieces this offseason, they did lose Tremaine Edmonds. I think they did a really good job forming up that defense, addressing some needs in the draft. Also, on the offensive side of the ball, getting some offensive line help, getting a number 2 tight end that could potentially replace Dawson Knox when it comes time to pay him.
Yeah.
And then even running backs, they moved on from Devin Singletary, which I think was the right move. James Cook, a year older, can he get the most out of him? They also signed Latavius Murray, which I think is a nice signing. They got Damian Harris. So they have a nice little committee backfield. I think maybe the running game can be better than last year's. My one concern would be their wide receiver 2s. Not a super sold on Gabe Davis, but they have Stephon Diggs. They have Josh Allen. I have them at 4.
Awesome. Yeah. At 4, you have the Bills. I think I would argue the Steelers over the Bills, because I will put it this way. Do I think the Bills could get the better of them in like September and October? Yes. But do I think when it comes down to it in a playoff game, Mike Tomlin versus Sean McDermott, that defense, will they be able to slow down Josh Allen in January? I think they could. And I think they would best them in like January, December football.
Gritty football. I can see it.
And then number 3, our top 3 might be the same actually. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, have them as the number 1 seed in the AFC. Trevor Lawrence, you're getting Calvin Ridley back this year, so that wide receiver core is a lot more dynamic with the weapons you already had there. Doug Peterson, year 2, taking control of the reins there, and look for some improvement on the defensive side.
Yeah, and even with their draft picks this year, I have them at 3 as well. They went out and got Tank Bigsby in the 3rd round. I think he's going to complement Travis Etienne very well. Calvin Ridley shaking off some rust. I think to start the season, getting acclimated might be an issue for them. But then when he is acclimated, you have him, Christian Kirk, some other guys on that team that can make a difference for him. And then their defense, a year older, Trayvon Walker, can he be effective for him? I like the Jags at 3.
And I think what I would say about Calvin Ridley is it's not like they traded for him this year. So he's had all of last year to be studying Jags film offensively, so he'll have the plays. He'll really just be shaking off that physical rust, but I think he'll be on the same page with Trevor Lawrence just because they traded for him last year.
Yeah, for sure. And then 2, we probably both have the Bengals. At this point, whether you have the Chiefs or Bengals, 1 or 2, I think they're both going to be right there. I mean, this is the only team that can really fully compete with the Chiefs and have given the Chiefs trouble since Patty Mahomes has been in the league, so got to give them credit there. They could be 1 if you wanted them, but with some of their losses on the defensive side, I put them at 2. Joe Burrow, Patty Mahomes, best rivalry in football.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, yeah, one or two, you could put the Chiefs wherever you want. I think the Chiefs will definitely be the best team in the league. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league right now, and Andy Reid is the best coach in this conference. So I have to give them the benefit of the doubt there. And then I think their offense could potentially be more dynamic this year once they fully acclimate Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore. I think they're going to be a lot faster this year, and we saw a little bit of that in the Super Bowl. So look for their offense to get a little bit more speed because they were comfortable moving off Juju.